Hello and welcome to Slow Pit Stop, the international Formula One podcast by fans for fans all around the world. My name is Arafat, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host Mohammed. Say hi, Mohammed.
Yo, it's Momo.
That's not what you usually say.
Hello, it's Mohammed. Hi, it's Mohammed. Wait, what do you say? Say hi, Mohammed. Hi, Mohammed. That's what
there
it is.
you go.
It's been so long, I forgot my catchphrase.
Life has been so busy. But Formula One's on a break, so we've been on a break. Spring break. So yeah, we will obviously have an episode after the Miami Grand Prix. But we thought we'd just have a very quick sit down today, talk about some of the weird news stories that are going on and how bit by bit by bit they're slowly ruining Formula One.
Bit by bit by bit.
Yeah. So first thing I want to talk about is there's been some key changes to the rules for Formula One to try and improve things. Toto Wolff described this as we're going to take a scalpel to Formula One rather than a sledgehammer. I think the race described it as like pragmatic, boring, but reasonable. I don't know. I'm really struggling. Like,
it's kind of stupid.
All of Formula One, I've history. Like, I have no engineering background. I'm like, I love cars, but like superficially, like I couldn't tell you how a car worked, you know. But like throughout time, I've like, okay, I'm going to learn about DRS, and I've learned about downforce, and I've learned about ground force, and this and whatever else. But all this battery stuff is blowing my mind. I'm going to read the race did some summaries on key changes. I'm going to read these to you, and you tell me how insane this is. Number 1, the recharge limit in qualifying will be reduced from 8 megajoules to 7 megajoules for each lap. Good idea, bad idea? What do you think? What was that?
I don't
mean
even
to
freaking
you?
know, man.
God.
Okay.
You're not even. I'm gonna be like, go on. What does that mean to you? Do you think? So
I'll tell you. So, in my opinion, as somebody who's never driven one of these new cars, who doesn't know how these engines work, I think that the recharge limit, it hopefully means that they're not charging as long, and maybe it makes for better racing.
So overall lap time should be a second slower per lap because they have less battery power, but they spend less of the time actually trying to charge the battery and more of the time just driving. So, Fernando Alonso joked that the chef could drive the corners now because you go so slow through the corners. And I think Piastri was saying, as the lap went on, he became braver and braver and braver and pushed through the corners, but found that meant he had less battery in the straight and was actually going slower and slower. So number 2, this is again another insane sentence. Just imagine Senna having to say this. The super clipping recharge allowance will be increased from 250 kilowatts to 350 kilowatts in both qualifying and the races.
So I thought super clipping was bad. Like I thought if they super clip, then that means that they're not charging. So why are you allowing it to super clip longer? Does that mean like that? I don't understand the logic behind that. Unless I just don't understand the science behind it.
So I think it's they super clip, but they hit a limit of 250 anyway. This is I could be totally wrong here. Who knows what I'm talking about? So my understanding is they get to do more of the super clipping at the end of the straight, which means they're not doing battery recovery on the rest of the lap.
Yeah.
That's my read.
Going into these edits, these changes, I feel like the drivers were complaining about a couple things. I felt like they were like, we spend most of the lap figuring out how we're going to charge the battery, that we're not even thinking about anything else. Like we're driving, and our thoughts are, how are we going to charge this battery because we're dying? So I feel like these changes, I call them edits because it feels like edits, are more like, it's going to make it easier so you don't have to think about charging the battery the whole time. It's just like when you have a phone that has a really bad battery and can't go the whole day with a full charge. You wake up in the morning, you're at 100%. You start thinking, okay, I need to have a charger in my car because by the time I get to work, I'm going to be down to 50%. Or you're like, okay, I need to have a charger at work. I need to have a charger at work. because maybe it survived the car ride, but throughout the day, it's definitely not going to make it. I need a charger at work, or you're like, I need a portable charger because by the time I'm done with the day and I'm retiring in bed, I'm going to need a portable charger. Like the whole day, you're just thinking about, okay, the battery's 70%. This isn't going to last me until I get home, so I need to charge it on my way home. I feel like they're just trying to come up, huh?
I've had my phone for 2 years now.
Yeah.
And for the first time in this phone's life, I've started taking a charger to work. And I've got one in my office because historically it's always been fine to get through a day for me, at least until I get home. But now it no longer does that. But I don't have a charger in my car. I should probably do that.
See, I am so brain dead that I just doom scroll all day. I have 13 hours of screen time a day. So my phone just dies, even with its brand new battery.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's good. Right. There's more changes that these people have made to the rules, but they're all equally stupid. So I'm not going to go into more of them. Tell me another news story.
Why are all these drivers going to end up in a prison cell in Italy?
Oh, this is lovely. I love this. So it's something to do with the fact that when you had races at Monza and Imola, Italian tax law says money earned in Italy should have income tax or something paid in Italy.
It has to do with like foreign athletes because they're coming in and they're earning, so they need to pay a little percentage of what these foreign, because they're not like, they don't live in Italy, they're not paying taxes. So why are you coming to our country and making money and not paying tax?
So I think Pierre Gasly and Yuki Tsunoda are Italian residents, so they're fine. Like I think the number one place for millionaires to move right now in the world is Milan. You'd think it'd be Dubai or Singapore or something, but they're all going to Milan because Milan has this like flat rate tax. It's like 200k, and after that, do what you want.
Okay, amazing.
So all these millionaires are like, yeah, I'll do that. But apparently there's some weird tax laws that some of them may have broken, and the Italian government it's basically a ruse, right? They're like, okay, we waited. We wanted to see if Ferrari could win. But okay, probably not good enough to win. I know. How about if we took George Russell and Kimi Antonelli and Piastri and Norris, etc., and just threw them in jail for tax evasion, and then Ferrari could win? That's what this is.
I saw a post on Twitter that was like, imagine if all the drivers get jailed except for the Ferrari drivers and they still manage to Arsenal the championship.
Yeah.
Why you gotta put it like that? Why you gotta say Arsenal the championship? Speaking of which, is Arsenal still top of the table? I gotta look this up.
No, they're not.
I feel like somebody was gonna know that without me having to look it up. They're second now. Who's top? Manchester City?
City, yeah. Same number of points, but the difference is goal difference.
Goal differential. How do you know that?
I know things.
Yeah. So don't say Ferrari's going to manage to Arsenal the championship. You have to say Arsenal's going to manage
to Ferrari the champion.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
what's really happening here.
Oh my god. It's so bad, isn't it? Oh man. And then kind of parallel news to that, right, is this news that came out today that everyone's kind of speculating on, which is that I guess there's been some giant, like ring that's been busted, some prostitution ring. And amongst like, I guess every single Italian footballer is in that ring, but also one famous F1 driver. Here's my take on this, because I think a lot of people may have already heard about this in the news. People use the term F1 driver quite loosely unless you're actually an F1 fan. Because I will see YouTube videos that'll be like, go-karting.
F1 driver takes on go-kart. Yeah. And it's someone who's done one free practice session, or they were a test driver or something.
Yes, or they raced for a season 6 years ago or something. The only time it actually was a real F1 driver, it was Ollie Behrman, but he was in his rookie season at Haas. So, like,
like even if you've raced a season, that's fine. It's the people who have never even raced or like taken part in an FP1. They're a test driver for a team. They do simulator work, and someone calls them an F1 driver.
And people don't even really know, because once I don't remember who it was. I was talking to someone, and they were like, I think this was actually at work. somebody was like, "Oh yes, I am. My father is friends with a Formula One driver," and I was like, "Your father is friends with a Formula One driver?" Yeah, well, retired Formula One driver. He's older now. I was like, "Your father is friends with a retired Formula One driver? Like, who are you referring to?" And then finally, they pulled up this guy. He raced like it wasn't even the same series. It was like Porsche GT3s in like Dubai or something. Like it was just like not like he just wasn't a Formula One driver. So people just don't know. Like they just use the term and
Yeah, yeah.
they just don't know.
So
If you're a
loosely.
fan,
So
you
it could
know.
be anyone in the world.
So I don't think that it's definitely not somebody active on the grid because this ring was from a few years ago. And I would even be shocked to know if it was one of the main drivers that we all know. Like I think in our group chat we were speculating, Nikita Mazepin, Adrian Sutil, like these guys. Like I
Hashtag
don't know.
allegedly. Hashtag
Hashtag allegedly. Don't come after us.
speculation.
Don't come
Yeah, don't
after
come
us.
after
We're
us.
just two guys. We don't know anything.
It was all Mohammed's idea.
No,
I'll give
no,
you his
no.
address.
My name is Adam, and I'm in the
I will
Canada.
I will turn on him in Canada. Very good.
Yeah. So
Um,
I don't know. I don't think it was a real driver. I mean, it's possible. Of course, anything is possible. But I just the way people use the term, I don't believe it.
yeah. Next story. Verstappen. People keep asking if he's going to quit Formula One. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he's almost on his way out. What
I th-
like strikes me
I think
about
he's raced
him?
more seasons than he will race, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. We're more than halfway through his career. The thing that strikes me about him, and I didn't believe this about him initially, but I really don't think he's in it to collect all the trophies. Like I actually don't
Yeah,
think so.
correct.
And I used to think he was. I used to think that he wanted to be in there. He wanted all the trophies, all the records, everything to be about him, and then he's going to leave. And he's really not like that. And conversely, Lewis Hamilton very much is like that. He wants to paint his name all over the sport. He wants to be cemented his legacy before he goes. Verstappen, I think, is just having a good time. And I think he's kind of like Alonso, where when the good time runs out, if there's no promise of something good coming, he's going to leave. And he's in this
Yeah.
car, and it sucks. And even
And
in
I think
2021,
he's just a pure like in between F1 sessions, he's doing like sim racing. And then I was doing all this GT3 racing. He raced at Nürburgring. Like I think he just wants to race. You could give him a lawnmower and he'd want to race
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Like
Did
he
you see that
just wants to race.
he was disqualified from his GT3?
He was disqualified from the first race. The second
Yeah.
race, second time he did, he wasn't disqualified, but they had some front splitter issue. It was vibrating, so they had to pit for 30 minutes to fix it.
And
And
then
pitting to 30
unfortunately,
minutes, they dropped to P80. And I was like, what do you mean P80? How many people are in this race?
and unfortunately, a driver died, so that race was
Oh,
extended.
that's very
Yeah,
sad.
one of the Mercedes drivers, I think, passed away.
Yeah.
Johan, I don't remember his name, unfortunately, but yes, there's an accident and he passed
I
away.
have to find his name now. Don't
In
give me a second.
Nürburgring, yeah. It's just a name. It's not that I can see his face in my mind. I just don't know how to pronounce his name. Is why I don't like to.
Mittinen.
Mittinen.
Juha Mittinen.
Johan Mittinen. So he unfortunately passed away during that
It's really
second
sad.
race. Yeah, you don't hear about motorsport that's too often nowadays. But yeah, I can see him. I can see Verstappen kind of switching around and trying different things. And he was already saying it in 2021. If you don't give me a championship winning car, I'm gonna leave. So his car sucks right now. What is this news about Red Bull may have the benchmark to beat in their engine and their chassis is just that bad? Have you heard of this on the today's episode is
Yes.
us going through Twitter stories, basically.
Twitter stories, basically. So no, it's a good format. Let's do this more. So I think they've sussed out that the engine is okay, and I think it's probably because these internal combustion engine part of this whole situation for everyone is not that big a deal.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the real challenge here is being able to recharge your battery efficiently and deploying that. Oh, sorry, I'm so tired. And like Mercedes is obviously bossing that. They had a Formula E team. They're all over that battery nonsense. Red Bull are okay at it, but the car is just not good. And I think I think as a team, they're unstructured. Loads of people are leaving. I think it either creates distrust because people are being fired or leaving, and you're kind of like not cohesively working as a team so much anymore.
Hmm.
So even when you have great minds, if everyone's not pulling in the same direction,
Hmm.
it creates a car
Yeah,
that's
now
maybe not
they're
as good as
talking
it could
about
be.
Hannah Schmidt's possibly jumping ship. I mean, that started as a wild rumor, but then a couple different accounts picked it up, and it seems like if she's not leaving, I wouldn't be surprised if she's actually considering leaving and asking other teams, because that word
Mm,
now has gotten out that she's looking to leave, and she may have actually. I mean, if she leaves, she's gonna go to a top team because she
mm.
demands kind of top talent.
If
And
she
so
goes to
I would.
Ferrari, I'll be like, yay. If she goes to Mercedes, I'll be like, oh no.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things, right? But who knows? Because we were so upset when Adrian Newey didn't go to Ferrari, and who cares?
Yeah, who
Who
cares now?
actually
Yeah,
cares?
exactly.
So I would be very happy if she came to Ferrari, but I don't know how this thing is gonna roll out with her. Speaking of which, I have a funny story to say about the batteries. So this past weekend, I test drove a Mercedes SUV. And it's something I've been meaning to do because I'm looking for a new car. And that's just one of the cars on my radar that I want to drive, the Mercedes GLC 300. So I went with my spouse, and she was driving, and the salesman is in the car, and he's touting all the features of the car, and he's saying like, this is what, if you press the button and you say, hey Mercedes, open my window, it'll open the window, and if you
Mm-mm-mm.
press this button, it'll do this. And as we're doing the test drive, he's just going on and on and on about the car, and then he gets to the end of the test drive, and he's like, and by the way, our engine is derived from the powerful engines in our Formula One Mercedes cars. And I was like, don't tell me about your Formula One Mercedes cars. And my wife goes, oh yeah, he's a big Formula One fan.
Oh,
And then
no.
the guy's like, oh, if you're a big F1 fan, answer me this. Who is the best team in Formula One right now? I had to bite my tongue. I had to go Mercedes. But
That was the
the
whole thing.
engine
It's
he's
the whole
talking about.
strategy. Win the race on Sunday, sell the car on Monday. It's a
Yeah,
classic
yeah.
line.
Except it didn't work on me, because
Didn't
don't say
work on
that
you.
to me. Because look at this. Look at this. I'm no longer a Mercedes fan. I
Okay,
know
so now
I
you need to
have
go buy a
I know
Ferrari.
I have this, but that's not
Yeah.
my. The other thing is, the engine that he's talking about, their big, hybrid technology, is it's the entire last era of engines, the ERS or whatever. So my BMW that I drive now also has that same technology. It's not, when you brake, it
You could
puts
be like,
energy.
this is derived from like 2009 Formula One cars.
It really is though.
Yeah.
They don't have 2026 super clipping in their new road cars yet.
God,
Okay, they don't have it. I could tell them right now.
crazy.
Mercedes and their cheating engine, which is not even going to
Are you
be.
going to buy that car? I've driven
I'm
that car
considering.
once as a rental.
I'm considering
My
it. Yes.
problem with Mercedes, they charge you a lot of money. They give you something that's supposedly a luxury product, and then like just little details like the indicator stalk and whatever is the same throughout their entire lineup. Whether you
Mm,
buy their most expensive car or their cheapest A class,
yeah.
there's so many shared components that I'm like, what's the point of buying this one when I could have just bought like the
Well, that's how I feel
much
about
cheaper
my.
one?
That's how I feel about my BMW, because my
Mm,
BMW is an M340, so it's an M,
yeah,
which means I should be afforded some luxurious extra things onto the car.
yeah,
And it was like that for a while. But with this next generation of BMWs that came out a couple of years ago, they started making all the cars look like the M, because people who are driving just your average 3 Series were getting jealous that why does the M look so much better? So I'm like, why did I put all this extra effort into getting an M? Yes, my car is faster, but all
mm,
the cars look the same now. So I see what you're coming
yeah.
from. But in America, that specific SUV goes on sale quite often, and is quite affordable for luxury. Like,
Mm.
it's usually the monthly payment is about $550 a month, which is quite affordable for luxury.
Are we a car
Uh,
show now?
oh my god, we're supposed to be talking about
Okay.
F1. All right, let's
Let's
get
get
this
Doug
out of here.
DeMero on next episode.
We're gonna review cars. Hey guys, welcome to Slow Pit Stop, where we review cars that we're test driving.
Exactly. Right. We just planned on saying a very quick hello to all of you today and recording a very short episode of all our random thoughts. But following the Miami Grand Prix, the schedule will resume as normal and you'll be getting a monthly update.
Yeah, one last thing I want to add. I want to give props
Monthly?
to Mercedes.
Weekly?
One
Or
last
bi-weekly? Whatever.
whatever post race actual true
Yeah,
update.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I want to think. I just want to say Mercedes did a good thing by letting Dorian
Pin.
Payne. It's Pin, but they always pronounce it different. Anyway, by
Yeah.
letting her drive the Formula One car, I think that was
Mm.
a very magnanimous move. I'm surprised Williams never did that to Jamie Chadwick. They should have. And it's a big step towards getting women into Formula One cars. So that was good that they did that, and she's a champion, and she kind of deserved to do it. And I feel like there's at least one more story I wanted to say. Oh yes, Lewis Hamilton hard launched Kim Kardashian, and they went to the Justin Bieber
Mm.
concert at Coachella, and that's all we will say on that matter.
Mm. Sadness.
Wait. What is so wrong with Lewis Hamilton and Kim K? She's
She's a
45, he's
billionaire.
41. They're in their
No,
40s.
yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Like on some level, it's totally fine. It's just that she's a billionaire, and they're inherently evil because you can't become a billionaire without trampling on the working class.
Okay. I feel like a big part of the problem is that they have differing social justice views. I think people have talked about that, but
You can't be a billionaire without crushing the working class. So
Oh, Lewis. Whatever. He looks happy, guys. He looks happy.
yeah, as long as he's happy and he wins a race, I'm all good.
Where is it happening this year, Arafat? Hungary?
Monaco.
Okay, I go Hungary, you go Monaco.
Okay, cool.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us on this very quick recap episode. We'll be back after Miami, which I want to watch in IMAX. It'll be in IMAX in the United States. I'm so excited for that. Yeah, I'm going to try to go watch it in IMAX. IMAX!
Cool.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.